Hello, I'm Bob McFarland, a software developer with Scripty Systems. I'll be your host as we take a look at working with strip boards in Scheduler. If you haven't already watched the Getting Started video, and the Starting a Standalone Production or the Starting a Series Production video, I highly recommend that you go back and watch those first, as they lay the foundation that you need before diving into your strip boards and scheduling your production. For this demonstration, I'm going to be working in a series production file because I've already set up 2 units that will be shooting different blocks of episodes. If you're working on a feature film or other standalone production, you may have a second unit or a splinter unit similar to our series second block unit. The bottom line is that the principles are the same when working in a strip board, whether you are working on a standalone production or a series production. The only differences will be that the strips in a series strip board will include the episode number, since you can include strips from multiple episodes in a strip board if you're cross-boarding. Okay, let's get started. I've got my series project open. I'll click the scheduling menu. I can either open the list of all strip boards by clicking the strip boards menu, or I can open the active strip boards. You may create several versions of your strip board to experiment with different schedules based on actor or location availability. Now, once you decide on the strip board or strip boards that you want to use, you'll keep those active. For now, I'll click the strip boards menu so we can look at the list of strip boards. Notice the list is grouped by active and approved. If we had any inactive strip boards, there would be another grouping for those. And also notice that the active and approved section is further grouped by unit. We have our main unit, and since we're working in a series production, we have our other unit for episodes 2, 4, and 6. If you want to add a new strip board, you can click the plus button in the upper right. Another way to create a new strip board is by copying one of your existing strip boards. If I select one in the list, a new button appears next to the plus button. This is the copy button. Clicking it will make an exact copy of the selected strip board. For now, I'll click the plus button. I'll just call this the main actor availability strip board. Next, I select the unit that will be shooting the strip board. Then I select the phase of the production that we're scheduling. In Scheduler, you can schedule strips and to-dos for the different phases of the production. For example, we could set up a pre-production strip board to schedule location scouts, costume fittings, script read-throughs, and so on. That way, everyone can check the master calendar and see what's going on. We'll just leave it as the production phase for now. As for the calendar, we'll come back to that in another video where we deal with the calendar options. You also have the option to add all the strips for the selected phase to the strip board. In other words, all the strips you've created will be added to the strip board to get you started. If you're working on a series, you'll also select the episode from which to pull the strips. If you're working on a standalone production, that drop-down won't be there. When I'm ready to create the new strip board, I just click the Save button. Now, I'm not going to do that for now since we already have a couple of strip boards to look at. I'll just click Cancel. Instead, I'll double-click on the first strip board to open it. A couple of quick items to note. You can create a copy of this strip board by clicking the copy icon at the top. You can also select a different strip board to work on by selecting it from the drop-down up here. You can change the name of the strip board simply by renaming it in the title box. You can also see this is one of our main unit production strip boards. Now, we'll talk about applying the calendar in another video that deals with the calendars. Now, we can also see that this is an active strip board. Uncheck the box if you aren't planning on using it but want the option to come back to it later. It is important to try to keep only one truly active strip board marked as active so other users will know which one to look at. You can see that we have one day set up with all the strips in it. I'll scroll down to the end and you can see we have an end of day marker. If you don't want end of day markers, you can turn those off in preferences. One of the first things you would likely want to do is to sort the strips by set. To sort the strips, click the Sort button over here. I'll select Set, then Day-Night, then click the Sort button. Now the strips are sorted. You can fine-tune the order simply by dragging and dropping strips to new locations in the list, like this. Now, you're not limited to moving just one strip at a time. You can move multiple strips together. Start by selecting a strip. A paperclip appears indicating that the strip is selected. The reason we use a paperclip is because you can color code the strip, so trying to highlight the selected strip is a little difficult. Now, go to another strip, and if you hold the Shift key while clicking, it will select all the strips in between. Then, if I drag one of the strips, it will drag all of them. Now, after tweaking the order and you feel that you're ready to start inserting day breaks, you have a couple of options. If you've opened each strip and entered the estimated amount of time it will take to shoot each strip, you can have Scheduler take a shot at inserting day breaks for you. To use that option, click the sun icon on the upper right. You'll get a message to confirm that action. If all the strips don't have an estimated duration, this process will simply insert 30 day breaks. If you're working on a series where you have to shoot an episode in 7 days or so, that probably is not a good option to use. Another option you have is to simply drag day breaks and drop them where you want them, like this. Now I have a second day. Another option is to select a strip where you want to insert a day break and use the hotkey one or more times to insert any number of day breaks. I'll click a strip where I want to insert a day break, and the hotkey is Control-Shift-D. I'll press that combination, and a new day break is inserted. I'll go ahead and add one more. To refine your schedule, it's just a matter of moving strips around to change the order or moving them to different days. If an entire day needs to be rescheduled, you can drag the day break and drop it into a different day to move all the strips for that day, like this. You can also move strips by selecting them so the paperclip is visible. Then use Command X to cut them. Go to the place you want to insert them and click the strip or day break where they should be inserted below and press Command V to paste them in. If you have a strip you're not sure you're going to actually shoot, you can move it to the boneyard by dragging it and dropping it onto the skull. I'll demonstrate. Now to see what's in the boneyard, just click the skull. Now let's take a quick tour of the boneyard. At the top is a list of standard banners. You can set up any number of standard banners that you use in all of your projects. For each standard banner, you can set the text that will appear in the banner, and you can configure the border color, the background color, and the text color. You can have a lot of fun with those. You can configure them in the master lists or the project lists under the scheduler menu. Next in the boneyard are unscheduled banners. These are banners that you dragged off of your strip board and into the boneyard for later use. Then finally, you have unscheduled strips. These are strips that you dragged into the boneyard, or if you're working on a series, strips from other episodes. If you are working on a series, you can easily show and hide the strips from completed episodes by clicking the up-down arrow for that episode, like this. To use a banner or strip from the boneyard, just drag it into your strip board. And yes, if you're working in a series, you can drag strips from other episodes into a strip board in case you're crossboarding. Now I have the strip board from the first episode open. I'll just drag a strip from the second episode like this. When working in a series and you add a strip that is also on the strip board for another episode, an asterisk will be displayed to let you know this strip is on a strip board in more than one episode. All right, I'll close the boneyard so we can get back to talking about the strip board itself. You can insert new banners by dragging the banner icon to the location where you want it and dropping it like this. Pops up a box so I can enter the title and optional description. The duration is used in the calculations when using the option to have Scheduler determine your day breaks. In any case, it is optional. When I'm done, I click Save and the banner is inserted. This little color wheel allows me to color code this banner. I can select the strip or background color, the border color, and the text color. I select a background color by clicking the color box and selecting the color I want. You can edit the banner title and description by double-clicking it or clicking the circle with the arrow. You can also add a new scene-based strip by dragging from the clapper. When I drop it into the slot where I want it, the strip window opens along with a list of scenes so I can select the applicable scene. I'll select a scene and click Save. Now notice the title of the strip. Since I selected a scene that already had one or more strips linked to it, it titles it as a partial. I'm just going to close the strip for now. Watch the strip video for all the details about strips. Scheduler can also be used to schedule to-dos and meetings that aren't directly related to a specific scene. To add a to-do or meeting, drag from the checkmark button and drop it where it belongs. The new to-do strip opens where you can enter the title for it. I'll enter it and press Tab to lock it in. And again, I'll go into the strip details in the strips video. For now, I'll just close it. You can see that our to-do has been added. Just like with a banner, you can set the color coding for a to-do by clicking the color wheel and selecting your colors. You may be wondering if you can color code scene-based strips. Yes, you can. Scene-based strips are color-coded in Preferences. Under the Scheduler menu, select Project Preferences, then Strip Color Codes. Much like with banners and to-dos, you can set colors for the background, the border, and the text. But you'll be setting colors for the combination of the time of day and the interior or exterior variations. I'll set one as an example. If you have preferred colors for strips, you can set them in the Master Preferences. Then they'll be copied into every new project you start. You don't have to keep configuring them for every project individually. Just a couple more things related to strip boards. Under the Reports menu, you can print out the strip board in color or black and white. You can also create custom strip layouts for use in your strip boards, but we'll go over that in another video. Well, that should get you off to a good start on working on scheduling your project in the strip board. I would suggest checking out the video about calendars next, since that affects strip boards and your schedule. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.